The simple answer to that question would be it has potential. The track choice is a mixture between street racing, point to point, and some real life tracks such as Red Bull Ring, Yas Marina, and Indianapolis, Brands Hatch, Algarve. There's quite a few street tracks, and the street tracks are good. The real life tracks, they're not the best choices. They should have included more. They should have included stuff like Nürburgring and Spa. That's a DLC. So limited track choice, but what they've got there is good. I can't complain about that at all. What about the cars? Well, not many to choose from, if we're honest. You can see it's 14 Tier 1, 13 Tier 2, 15 Tier 3, 9 Tier 4. It's not like they've chosen the wrong cars, it's just maybe you'd want more. It's not a kind of game that's all about the cars, though. That's the thing about Grid 2. It's not about the cars, it's about the racing. Each of the cars has its own... each car is either a drift, balanced, or grip in terms of handling. And for the most part they do say as they are on the tin. The stats of the cars are actually quite accurate. You'd be surprised. They're not... It's not like a lot of racing games where what it says on paper is different. So that on that department, they've done okay. Not many tracks, not many cars, but what they've got there is quality. They've not put stuff that's unnecessary there. What about the career mode? Well, the career mode, as you'd expect, it's just you do races. You start off with short races, short seasons. You move up to long races, long seasons, faster cars, etc. Nothing unusual there. Typical racing game, and for the most part the career mode is solid. You're not going to be frustrated. There's no problems there. Difficulty, well, you can adjust that. It doesn't affect any achievements or anything. Difficulty is pretty much perfect. The hardest difficulty is as hard as it should be. The easiest as easy as it should be. And you can adjust the damage as well, whether you want cosmetic or for it to make a difference. Which is good. I like that they've got these options. They've kept it kind of minimalistic, as you can see. That's the point I'm trying to get across here. It's kind of quite a minimalistic game. It's not the most... it's not like a Forza where they give you a plethora of stuff to play around with. Which I don't mind. You can also customize your car. So you can see how it's very easy to get a car to look how you want. You can choose between a range of liveries. You can save them. You can apply them to different cars. You can create a car, make it look how you want really quickly. You just choose the pattern, you choose the colours, and you can change how the wheels look. And that's about it. Simple as that. The online is totally separate from the single player, completely. But what really strikes me, here is the kicker. Single player, you can't upgrade your cars. You can't, there's no level or anything. Your points don't count for anything. On here, guess what? You can upgrade your cars, make them into different tiers. And guess what? You earn money through doing races. You earn more money. You can spend it on cars, upgrade your cars. You want to customize your car? It's not like the single player where there's no money involved. You have to buy everything. It costs money. You want to customize your car? You got to pay. You got to pay for everything. Upgrades, cars, everything. And you get money by doing races, doing better in races, etc. The way you get more money for more people in the race, higher you place, etc. There's nothing wrong with the money system itself, as in getting money. Getting money is fine, it works. But you can see that how this is going to create some issues. For example, I cannot buy any tier 4 cars until I am at least level 21. So, you might be wondering, what's going to happen then? So, what do you suppose is going to happen? Well, you try and enter a race online, and what happens? You get loaned a car, right? And more specifically, you get loaned this car, the SLR McLaren 722. You get loaned this. It happens to be the slowest of the bunch, and it's not got any upgrades or anything. And just to kick you in the shins even more, you get 50% of your winnings because you've had to hire the car. Does that sound fair to you? This is online, remember. You're playing online. You want to compete. You want to play against other people, yeah? You want the races to be fair. You want fairness, right? But you do not get that. You don't get that. Anyway, let's ignore that and let's look to what you can actually do online. You can go hardcore, no flashbacks, full damage. Unfortunately, it's not manual only. That's fine. It's not a big deal. You can just do racing, or you can do the alternates, which are just like the drift events, all the cool face-off, toge, stuff like that. And yeah, that's pretty much all you can do for the online. You can make a custom event. You can adjust all sorts of stuff. But that's about it, really. It's not far different to say Dirt 3's online matchmaking, really. What I do like, however, one thing I do have to say I like, is this global challenge, which every week there's these weekly races that you can do. And what they are is basically a race that you have to use. They give you a car, they give you a track, they give you a target to beat, and you go and do them. There's like a target for gold, silver, bronze, etc. You can go and do them weekly, and you get money, but you do not get very much money at all for them. You get more for getting a higher medal, you get more for gold than you do for bronze, but you still don't get much. It's not the fastest way to rank up. So the multiplayer, it's a bit of a surprising one, really. And what happens when you do play online? What happens when you are playing? What's the actual racing experience like online? Well, let's take a look. So here is the online. Now I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. I just jumped into the first race I could find. I'm not trying to get the best race ever. I haven't played the game once, just jumped into it. The lower your level, the further up the grid you start. And this is just a normal race. I just want to demonstrate the average race, really. This is a lot better than it looks. The amount of crashing here is, to be honest, yeah, okay, it's about average, but believe me, it gets worse. There's so much bashing in this game. Okay, yes, they've got the impact bonus. You get more money at the end of the race. The less you crash into people. It's got that thing that it had in Dirt 2 and Dirt 3. But the online racing, not first of all, as I said, the upgrading thing makes it kind of imbalanced. And the whole bashing, that really is not on. It just isn't. They need to get rid of impact like they did in Dirt 2. Have no impact racing. It would be a lot more fair. Because to be honest, you can't help it sometimes. If you're on, especially those tight streets, if you've got like 12 people racing. You can't not crash into people when there's only enough room for 2 cars on the road. It just doesn't work. Uh, One of the other issues this online has also is the lag. It's laggy a lot of the time. So it's just frustrating, really, more than anything. But the alternative game modes are okay because, say, if you're doing the drift online, then you take it in turns to set off and do the drift and etc. So that's not too bad. But the normal racing, for the most part, is completely frustrating. It's not fair. You do not feel like the position you came in was at all representative of how well you drove. And the corner cutting detection is sometimes a bit iffy. But other than that, it works. Just, but you gotta be able to, you can't like want to take this seriously. The racing, no, it's just too much bashing, too much bashing. The alternate game modes are okay. So here is the overtake game mode. It's quite a well thought out one. You got to keep your combo going. You got to overtake more cars, as many cars as you can. The more cars you overtake, more points you get, and the faster you overtake them, the more points, etc. Let's talk about the game's mechanics. This is the big one, and for the most part, they're flawless, I have to say. Especially the rewind feature, which is better than it's ever been before. There's none of this movie, like, you press the rewind button, you gotta wait for this, like, practically video editor to, like, no, one button, it takes you back, you press resume. It's that simple. There's none of this, like, business that you had in the Dirt games or in the original Grid. This is the best rewind system ever implemented in the racing game. I can say that for sure. Other than that, the driving mechanics, they are perfect. They are flawless. I think the people that are fans of the original Grid are just complaining for the sake of it. There's no assists or anything on here. It's just the only thing you can change about the driving is manual or automatic. But the cars just drive so well. It's not like a lot of racing games, I feel, if you've not played them in a while or you've not played them at all, you've got to get accustomed to the driving mechanics. Like Need for Speed Shift games, that you kind of have to get used to them. Like Forza, you kind of have to get used to it. It doesn't come naturally. This really comes naturally, and you do feel like you've got a lot of control over the car. So on that front, I think it's nailed. A lot of like hardcore sim fans are going to be disappointed, but it's fun, it's satisfying, it works. The cars handle according to their stats. You pick up the controller and you drive. You don't think about anything. It just works. So I'm really pleased with that. It appeals to both casual and more seasoned racers. It's really fun to drive. It works. Can't complain. What else? The main complaint I had of this game before buying it was the lack of interior view. That is really something that should have been in this game, and it isn't. Would I say it's killed the game for me? No. Would I say the game would have been significantly better with it in? I would say the game would have been improved. That said, there is decent variety in the game modes in this game. You got Toge, which is you have to try and get 5 seconds ahead of the other car or cross the line first. You got Face Off, which is these 1v1s, like kind of similar to that, to the Dirt games. Then you got Drift, which is surprisingly well implemented on here. A lot of games mess up Drift spectacularly. This really hasn't. And you got the normal race, the time attack, etc. I think they've got good variety here. I think the mix between street tracks and real life tracks, and the fact that you got these different tiers of cars, these different game modes, I think is a really good idea. And for the AI, for the most part, I've always claimed that in a racing game, the less you notice the AI, the better the AI is. Because most of the time when I notice the AI, it's because they are frustrating, like in Need for Speed Shift. Here, they don't get in your way, they're fine. So, I really like that. The game mode that's unique to this game is live routes, where the actual route you take around this street is kind of being built as you go along. So I think that's a really good idea. They've got all the other game modes like Eliminator and stuff in there. So Grid 2 has got all the ingredients you need for pretty much a perfect racing game. But it messes up a few things here and there, a few odd decisions regarding, say, the menu stuff and the lacking the interior view when they've had it in all the other Codemasters games. This kind of stuff is a bit odd, really. However, so good effort by Codemasters. I can really see what they were trying to do, but they should have really thought about some of their design decisions a bit more carefully. It's a shame, really, because this game is so close. Overall, though, I think it's definitely got the right idea. But it might disappoint some of the race driver fans who are expecting a more serious simulation game.